I think it should be good. All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to Called Into Questions. My name is Chris King, and in the sense of a national disaster, we are here playing some trivia questions for all of you. And like if you like go ahead and introduce yourself, our guest tonight.
Oh, that's me. Hi,
Yes.
I'm Jeremy Horwitz.
Jeremy is reporting live from the city by the bay, San Francisco. This is a 3-hour delay. It is here in Columbia, South Carolina, around 8 o'clock. It is 5 o'clock over there, but it is all across the country. Things are stressful and interesting, and we hope that you and all of your loved ones are staying safe, staying inside, and please washing your hands. Right now, we're playing a trivia game tonight where we'll be asking each other questions as simply as that. I have been ordered to stay home for the next 6 weeks or so. And so my usual trivia hosting that I like to do has been delayed for a little bit. And so since I have the itch to want to ask some questions, I'm going to invite friends that I know who are good at trivia to play the game. You at home can play the same game as we are going to be playing with each other. We have written for each other 15 questions, written in 3 rounds of 5 questions each. The first set of 5 questions we have each written for each other is a nice medium level question. Round 2 will be a harder level, and then round 3 will be a very difficult, let's just see what happens kind of round tonight. And we have all written our questions. We also have a specialist category that we will each be answering. Jeremy has written for me 3 questions about state capitals. And for Jeremy, if you would like to say what your specialist category is.
Yeah, that'd be celebrity middle names.
He has chosen celebrity middle names. So not only will he have to know the first and last names of people, he must know what came in between. So it is going to be a fun time. We are not competing against each other. Really, every question is just trying to see how the other person does. We'll technically have a score at the end, but the score is mainly for you. There'll be 16 questions for each of us. And if you score better than one of us, congratulations. That means you have beaten that person. But if the score is 13-7 or 10-9, we've written each other different questions. It would be unfair to judge it any other way. So that being said, why don't we go ahead and get this game underway? Jeremy, you are under the lights right now, and we're going to have 5 questions. We'll read them all together. Those of you at home, if you want to pause after question 5 so you can think about your answers, and then after that you can hit play, and then we will see how Jeremy does. So here we go. Here are your 5 questions. Number 1, according to the lyrics of a 1995 song, how are the following actions performed? Giving a high five, flicking a cigarette, giving a peace sign, playing the piano, and hailing a taxi cab. That's number 1. Number 2, this is a 2-point question. One a sitcom and the other a drama. What 2 highly successful TV shows that debuted in 1986 were set in the city of Atlanta? Number 3, cell biologist Philip Sikovits published an article in Scientific American in June 1957 about the mitochondrion and its purposes, published with what 4-word title? Number 4, the style of neck warmer that resembles a scarf but instead forms a loop with no ends is named after what number? And number 5, the best known book by what author who won the 2000 Nebula Award for Best Novel for Parable of the Talents is the same as the middle name of the author who was nominated for the 1966 Nebula Award in the same category for the novels Dr. Blood Money or How We Got Along After the Bomb, and the 3 Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. And those are the 5 questions. So if you are playing at home, you can pause and take a think. But that being said, we are going to start up at the beginning of the category. I will read it out again. Number 1, according to the lyrics of a 1995 song, how are the following actions performed? Giving a high five, flicking a cigarette, giving a peace sign, playing the piano, hailing a taxi cab.
All right, that's Alanis Morissette. It's off Jagged Little Pill.
There's tension in the air.
Yeah, there is. I'm guessing if I remember the title of the song, that would probably help a lot, or say other lyrics to it. Giving a peace sign. Yeah. One hand in my pocket.
That is what it is. They are. The song is "Hand in My Pocket," and these are all actions done with one hand in one's pocket.
By Alanis Nadine Morissette.
There you go. That was not. I should have had these things written down, but that is good knowledge there. I think playing the piano is harder with one hand in your pocket. I feel like the other ones can be very successfully done with one hand, but playing the piano feels like a two-hand job. Job.
Yeah.
A job
If
for
that's
two.
written down with hyphens, it's slightly clearer.
There we go. Number two, the 2-point question is or two-part question. One a sitcom, one a drama. What two highly successful TV shows that debuted in 1986 were set in the city of Atlanta?
Well, I got a guess for the sitcom at least. That seems about the right time to learn to be introduced to the Sugar Bakers. That's Designing Women.
Designing Women. It was one of the TV shows there.
I think that would qualify as the comedic one.
It is in fact the comedy. Yes, it is certainly the sitcom.
The dramatic works of Meshack Taylor.
That's right.
And an Atlanta-based drama that started in the mid-'80s. Was there anything else to the clue aside from 86 start and Atlanta-based and successful?
Yes, there are. These are certainly two famous shows. It's not like a one season flop.
Sure. So it's probably not Dallas.
It's a very good call to not pick Dallas.
Right. Also, the year's wrong. But, see how much dead air we can leave here. Drama. And it was on for several years, and there weren't that many networks back then. In fact, there was no Fox then. And that was after the Dumont network left, so we're pretty much left with ABC, CBS, NBC. Magnum PI was set in. Oh, never mind, that doesn't work. I think I needed a hint for 0 points here.
That is fine. It's certainly not the most serious of dramas. But it is set mainly in a courtroom. That's
really Atlanta?
Yes.
No, that's not a drama. Sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong show anyway. Courtroom. I mean, all I can think of is a Night Court, but I wouldn't consider that a drama. That's a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. This one.
And that's not set in Atlanta. So a primarily courtroom, so presumably lawyer show.
Yes, lawyer show is 100% correct.
Law and Order Atlanta.
It is not that. I will say that the first sentence of Wikipedia is an American mystery legal drama television series.
So probably not. Is Atlanta part of Cabot Cove, Maine, by any chance?
No, unfortunately, those are in fact far apart.
Mystery legal drama. Wow. This is what I get from mostly watching comedy.
Another hint is this is a favorite TV show of Abraham Simpson.
Oh, wow. Fine. Thank you. Is Matlock on?
In fact, this is Matlock. Matlock is the other Atlanta-based show.
That is certainly a super well-known show.
Yes. There's
all right.
No doubt about it. Number 3, cell biologist Philip Siekowitz published an article in Scientific American in June 1957 about the mitochondrion and its purposes, published with what 4-word title?
So should be a phrase I know, something I learned in high school biology, like the brains of the cell or something like that. But it's something close. It's something close to that, isn't it?
It is very close to something like that. This is there's a. Go ahead.
I know the brains of the cell is obviously 5 words, but I could drop the. But anyway,
right. You would drop the. It's a different word. You have the last 3 are correct. The first one is slightly different. This is one of those jokes.
Yeah, it's like. It's like the workhorse or the engine. Engine? No.
That's close. That is
where do you burn the coals in a fire?
Yeah. If you knew what this word might be, it's 10 letters plus with a P.
Parliamentary. No. That's
God, all over it.
the pump houses of
Oh,
so the the principality. That doesn't work either. Is it
yeah.
something like engine related?
Yeah, I mean, it uses like a facility where an engine would be located. This is all, but no, you're right. It does. The mitochondrion produces energy from within, and it is the
Powerhouse.
of the cell. And almost a meme now that like when people talk about what they learned in high school. That it'll be like the thing, like the fact that Donde está la biblioteca is the main thing you learn from Spanish. This is the main thing you learn from almost science as a whole, which is the power of the cell. But it's a real phrase from the 50s. Number 4 is the style of neck warmer that resembles a scarf but instead forms a loop with no ends is named after what number?
Number? Really?
Yes,
That's a little
yes.
loose. Yes. What did you study in college again?
I do have a math degree from the University of South Carolina.
That's true. Do you mind if I just count up to the number? Is that okay? How much time do we have?
If we have time, you can go for it. Yes.
All right, thanks. Maybe I'll skip a few and just get straight to infinity.
It is in fact infinity is the number there, and you might argue with it, but you got the question right. That's the important thing. Number 5 is the best known book by what author who won the 2000 Nebula Award for Best Novel for Parable of the Talents is the same as the middle name of the author who was nominated for the 1966 Nebula Award for the same category for the novels Dr. Blood Money or How We Got Along After the Bomb and the 3 Stigmata of Homer Eldritch.
The only thing I've heard of in all of that, I mean, aside from the Nebula Awards, of course, is Homer Eldritch. When did you say that was? Mid-60s?
That was published in 1966.
Okay.
Or 65, 66. It was a 66-year Nebula Award. I don't know how it's like the Oscars.
This isn't going to affect. Yeah.
No,
the Oscar lists I have memorized. Nebula's fewer.
Yeah. I will say that the 3 novels in question are certainly not their author's most famous works, but for sure.
I think at this point I'm just going to have to name 60s, the middle name of a 60s science fiction author that I know the middle name of, which I'd like it to be a name that makes sense as the title of a book. Well, it'd be great if there's a book called Anson.
It is not the name of a book.
Wait, so the first thing you were discussing was the title of a book.
Yeah.
And that title is the middle name of someone else, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So at this point, I pretty much have to just come up with a famous 60s science fiction author whose middle name I know. That's the only direction I can go with this, since I don't recognize any of the 3 books. How about Kindred?
That's a good connection. So who you need to name the most outside author.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you're not looking for Dick.
Correct. That is a correct statement.
That's good to know. I mean, to each their own. So can you read the first half of the question again now that
The best known book by what author who won the 2000 Nebula Award for Best Novel for Parable of the Tenants is the same as the middle name of the author who was nominated for 1966 for those works. So who wrote?
So 2002's Kindred.
Yes. And so you were looking.
And a science fiction author.
Who wrote Kindred is the question now.
Sure. And it's from 2002-ish. And it's a science fiction author. Have you revealed a gender?
I have not. And in fact, she wrote Kindred.
Yeah, I was. I was asking also to look at your face when I said that, of course.
Kindred was originally published in 1979 is when she wrote this novel.
Any chance her middle name begins with a K?
It is not also a K.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Female science fiction authors who were writing in the mid-70s and in 2000. Yeah. This is definitely not my area. Yeah, so I get nothing. If it's not Ursula K. Le Guin.
It is not, and this is Octavia E.
Yeah,
Butler.
Butler. God damn it. Hold on.
He needs to prove his worth on the bookshelves around him. Let's see. Boom, there it is. Do you know what letter E stands for?
That was from a philosophy class that we never got to that book, but they still had us buy the book.
There it is.
So,
Do you have what the letter E stands for, by the way?
my grade in that philosophy class?
There you go.
Edwina.
Not bad. Estelle. Estelle is her middle name. So there you go. And so, like I said, this is all purely for fun. And in this set, you have.
I've got to change my questions real quick.
You've got 2 and 2 halves. You got 3 all there. So you got 3 points on the board here. So let's see.
All right.
It's all right. Here we go.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go through all 5 of these with hold your horses, and at the end I'll ask them one at a time. Number 1, what former U.S. senator represented a state that is 1 week younger than the senator's mother, who is still alive to this day? Probably should have checked. Question 2, what phrase, sometimes written as one word, literally meaning wind water, can be found in Taoist mystic Guo Pu's more than 1,500-year-old work, The Book of Burial? Number 3, what artist's only competitive Grammy wins were for 1976's How Great Thou Art, 1972's He Touched Me, and in 1975 for How Great Thou Art Live, all in the Best Inspirational Sacred Performance, whatever they were calling it that year, category. I have a wild guess that you might know that one. Number 4, who was President of the United States the last time there were no living former US presidents? Number 5, the oldest continuously operated church in the United States can be found in which appropriately named state capital? All right, I guess it's time for the viewers at home to pause, and I'll go through these again, and it's time for you to start answering with question number 1. Question number 1, what former US senator represented a state that is 1 week younger than the senator's mother, who is still alive to this day?
I believe former is in the sad sense that he is former as a general person. This man has passed away, and I believe this is John McCain, whose mother is in fact still alive. I think that is still the case now, and I guess
she was over the weekend when I wrote the question.
Yes, that's good. That's good. And I guess she was there in Panama with McCain Sr. when John McCain was born. So presumably,
technically, I believe McCain Jr., since the deceased senator is the third.
That is good knowledge. I was not aware. I didn't know that John McCain.
John Sidney McCain III is the senator you know, and
I know there's a senior that was like big. He was like in the Navy. He was in the Navy as well, like a big.
Both junior and senior were admirals in the Navy. The senator was not.
Okay, so senior, junior, and okay, wow, that's military history there. So all right.
Yes.
But no, John McCain, rest in peace.
Absolutely. 1 point. What phrase, sometimes, this is question 2 again, what phrase, sometimes written as one word, literally meaning wind water, can be found in Taoist mystic Guo Pu's more than 1,500-year-old work, The Book of Burial?
So what is Taoist mystic Guo? I don't understand what this is a phrase. What?
Guo Pu is a person.
Guo Pu is a person.
Yes. It's who wrote a more than 1,500-year-old work. This person lived more than 1,500 years ago. This person is a Taoist mystic, and this person was named Guo Pu. I'm looking for
Dallas. Are you saying like the city of Dallas or what?
Taoist.
Taoist. I kept hearing Dallas. Okay, Taoist mystic, and so written.
I have the Dallas theme stuck in my head again.
There you go. Meaning wind, water. It's from that. So it's going to be one of the words from Taoism. It's going to be like Wu Wei, or yin yang. It's gonna be, what is yin? Wu. I like either of those two. I wouldn't like anything else. It's either Wu Wei. I think both of them are written as one word too. I've seen it. I've seen it both ways. I am going to go for yin yang.
I've usually seen this answer written as two. In fact, almost never as one, but sometimes.
Sure.
So it is not yin yang.
Is it back in Wu Wei? Is it the other one?
It is not.
So I feel better now. What is the wind, water?
So, yeah, I can give you a
Is it
small-ish hint.
Is it Dalai Lama?
It is not.
I think I've seen somewhere what Dalai Lama stands for. I think ocean is one of the two words that Dalai Lama stands for, but I'm not sure. Give me another hint.
The great wave off of Kanagawa. That's what Dalai Lama means.
There we go.
Guopu's use of this term related Qi to where a tomb should be located in a particular burial site.
Is the word of an Asian language? Is an Asian language word? Like okay, what can this be? Like
perhaps even how to orient the tomb.
There we go. So this is
So it's an oriental question.
There we go. Is it feng shui is the word I'm looking for here? There it is.
Word or words, indeed.
Okay. Weird.
Number 3, which if I read your face correctly, you already have the answer to. The artist's only competitive Grammy wins were for 1976's How Great Thou Art, 1972's He Touched Me, and in 1975 for How Great Thou Art Live.
There we go.
All in the best inspirational, sacred performance, gospel, etc. category.
Congrats to a person that won a Grammy Award for a song and then a live performance of the song. That's
the first two were albums. Those were actually albums.
Oh, I see. I was like, that's a good trick to have a live win and a studio win as well. This is, I believe,
he essentially did that. Yeah.
This would be Elvis Aaron Presley is who this would be. And
I'd accept either spelling for his middle name.
What's Graceland's tombstone say? Is it spelled with 1 or 2? I forget.
I cannot remember which is which. And I think the doctor wrote down 2 A's, but the father wanted 1 A, and it was written in this birthing book at the hospital rather than an actual birth certificate, and it's a whole story.
Yeah. But Aaron, however you spell it, all you have to know is in crosswords it's 4 letters, because if you're
exactly. Yes.
If you're blowing AARON on Elvis for a crossword, what are you doing here? So that is all right.
I can't think of any other famous people. Speaking of, it's opening day for baseball. Yeah,
that's right.
Number 4. Who was president of these United States the last time there were no living former U.S. presidents?
So it's the cause of disease and/or people just dying. Man. Who might this be?
I can narrow it down to 45 people for you.
That's
44.
That's right.
Sorry.
44. That's right. Probably. I want to pick somebody 20th century because that's who. Because once you go past 20th century, then you're just picking folks. Who? It's got to be like a succession of people. LBJ lived a while. Or no, he actually didn't. He died sooner. So maybe Nixon? Nixon, because he would have followed LBJ, who didn't live much longer after his presidency. Kennedy he died during his. I don't know how long Eisenhower lived, but I like Nixon. I think LBJ.
Not a sentence many people have said since 1974.
That's right. I like Ike, but I think I like Nixon more here. I'm going to guess Richard Nixon.
LBJ did a terrible job taking care of himself, especially after he left the office of president, and he died in 73. And that's it. You're right. It's Nixon.
Yes, there we go.
That is one of 6 instances of there being no former living presidents, starting, of course, with George Washington and moving on to Jefferson for a few moments, like 5 hours.
That's right.
Let's see. Grant.
Do you think any of Adams and Jefferson's kinfolk thought it was weird that their president in their same household died, and they found out that week that the other one died as well? That'd have been weird to be like in the Jefferson household and be like, man, John Adams died the same day Jefferson did. Like, that's crazy. I feel like that would be more, like it's weird in the 21st century, but I wonder how weird it was back in the day when it happened at the same time, like when the newspapers reported it, I mean,
hear ye. Wait, what? We have to add what? Yeah. Well, TR's wife, one of TR's wives, and TR's mother died on the same day. Valentine's Day, I believe, actually.
And he wrote like a circle in his diary. I think I watched
there's something in his diary that was like, this sucks a lot.
Yeah, like it was he was truly crestfallen from which is fair.
Just wrote fuck.
Yeah.
Number 5. So good job, Nixon is absolutely correct. Number 5, the oldest continuously operated church in the United States can be found in which appropriately named state capital?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that after did I see you in Boston in January earlier this year? That feels right. I think I saw you at MIT, and
it's a safe bet.
That feels good. I saw you there, and after I was there in Boston which is a state capital, for a few days, I was able to travel south, and I saw some friends of mine here from USC. He currently attends Tufts, and she currently attends the University of Rhode Island. And I got to spend a couple of days in the fair Ocean State, and I saw Newport and Kingston, and we also spent a little bit of time in the state capital of Providence. And while we were there, I stumbled upon the First Baptist Church that Roger Williams built with his own bare hands back in the 1600s. And I think it is the oldest church in the U.S., and Providence would certainly be a religious name to it. And I think the $3 I gave the woman that was there at the First Baptist Church and showed me the video in the church basement before I went upstairs and looked at it, I think it is in fact Providence, Rhode Island. That is my guess.
So you sure you didn't give her $1 and it was the 3rd church in the United States?
I believe it was $3. And the reason I remember is because I didn't really hit up any ATMs when I was there in Boston. I basically had like X amount of cash. And when I went to, I was paying by card mostly, but I had very little cash. I had $4 in my wallet. And I remember I gave 3 to the woman at the church, and I had $1 left in my wallet. I specifically remember just being left with a single $1 legal tender in my wallet. And it was like, man, this church almost broke me in terms of cash. I would have felt bad not having the $3 to give the nice lady there at the First Baptist Church in Providence. But my guess is Providence, Rhode Island.
Sorry to say, that's not the answer we have here on the card.
Is it not?
It's not, and Providence is quite a good city name. I'm not even going to say I'd argue this is a better city name. That's the answer, but it's still a very good city name.
What? So if it's not Providence,
when I play tested this, the play testers, Providence was the most common wrong answer for what it's worth. And
that's why I felt so good on my thunderous knowledge here on this place I visited this year, and so I'm trying to maybe. Santa Fe. I'm trying to think of like other religious. Santa Fe's got old buildings, which I was doing some research about recently. It's got a religious name. Maybe Santa Fe, New Mexico is the state capital with old buildings. That's my guess number 2.
Holy Faith in Spanish, yes. La Villa Real de la Santa Fe de San Francisco de Asís. Built in, that's the old name of the city. Of course, we know it as Santa Fe now. The mission was built sometime around 1610.
Okay.
Like the San Miguel mission, or sorry, Misión de San Miguel.
And I'll allow that. I still such good knowledge about Providence, Rhode Island. I'm very disappointed that with a religious name as well, that almost seems like a trap. I'm gonna let it be known right now. So
Other religious sounding state capitals that were pointed out to me very recently: Sacramento,
there you go.
Saint
St. Paul. But I don't think anything like that church from Roger Williams built from the 1610. I can't imagine there's anything in Minnesota that's 400 years old.
No, it's true.
That doesn't seem right next to the Target Center. All right, so then I will take my 3 John McCain, Elvis Presley, and Nixon. I think it is 3 points there. I will take my 3 on that. So, all right. So here we go, going into round 2, where the questions get bumped up, but we're all having fun.
Oh, good.
There we go. Here we go. Your 5 questions. Here we go. Very best of luck. Number 1, Jane Averill Seen from the Back is an 1893 sketch by what artist? Number 2, the soundtrack to what 2017 film features the track Crossing the Marigold Bridge? Number 3, what 2 words complete this engraving? In this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is blank blank. Number 4, although now a word meaning a mixture or blend of any type, in chemistry, what name is given to an alloy of mercury with another metal? And number 5, what is the most recent election year where the president and the vice president of the winning ticket did not have a middle name?
Okay.
So there you go. So we will start back from the top. Number 1. There we go. Everybody, hopefully your people, you at home are enjoying that set of 5. Number 1 here. Jane Averill Seen from the Back is an 1893 sketch by what artist?
All right, someone who sketched people. Averill was a French last name.
Is Jane Averill, Avril? Jane is Jane, but Avril.
Jane is not very French. 1890s. So someone that we would care about sketches. Is this person a ballerina by any chance?
That's not bad. That's not bad thinking. Yes, this person.
I'm not sure how I get into this, aside from if I somehow know Jane Averill somehow. Otherwise, it's someone who has famous sketches, presumably a painter, though I guess it could be for a sculpture.
I will say this person is not like known for sketching or anything like that. This is just an artwork by this person that, in fact, is a sketch. It probably made into a painting of a similar name, but.
1890s?
1893. 1893 is the decade. Yep.
Let's do this by height and work our way up. I'll start with Toulouse-Lautrec.
That's what you're going for?
Sure.
Jane Averill, you said it might have been a ballerina. Jane Averill was best known for being the lead can-can dancer at the Moulin Rouge. And so you were right, a good dancer there, but Jane Averill was known for being the main can-can dancer. In fact, this is the work of Henry Toulouse-Lautrec. You are, in fact.
Wow.
So there you go.
That was. I knew that. That was the wildest guess. That was the wildest guess ever.
And Nicole Kidman's character from the musical is based. Kay Winslet. One of the two. Those two. Who's in that movie? One of those 2 people in that movie.
No. It's Nicole Kidman. I'm trying to remember the character name, like Fantine or something like that.
That could be it. I've actually not seen the movie.
The 2001 Baz Luhrmann film.
Oh yes, Nicole Kidman, Satine, based on Jane Averill. Like I said, yes, Satine, but she is based on that historical figure, and Jane Averill was that person. Very well done. Henry Toulouse-Lautrec. I'm glad you went short to tall, not tall to short, because I don't.
It would have taken forever. Would have taken infinity.
I don't know who the tallest French painter of all time is. That's a good question. I don't know who's What painters are known for being tall? Do you know anybody? Jackson Pollock feels tall when you see pictures of him leaning over doing his things. This is all speculation.
He looks like Ed Harris to me.
That's
all
true.
I know is however tall Ed Harris is.
Ed Harris is pretty tall though. Of the people that have played artists in movies, Ed Harris is one of the taller people there. So very well done. Number 2, the soundtrack.
Douglas is pretty tall. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. The soundtrack to what 2017 film features the track "Crossing the Marigold Bridge"? I will say this song is orchestral. It is not a lyrics-based song. It is on the soundtrack.
So in a 2017 movie where Marigold Bridge would make sense. I don't remember a lot of Marigold Bridges in I, Tonya. Not Shape of Water, not a lot of bridges in that either.
Just the under parts of the bridges, the water part, which is the part under the bridge, yeah.
And the shape thereof.
And the shape, yeah.
Crossing the Marigold Bridge. And so marigolds are flowers. So this is obviously Bridges of Madison County, the well-known 2017 film.
It is not bad.
Okay. Is this a particularly notable or memorable soundtrack, or are you just giving me a title off of it?
There's certainly a song from this soundtrack that is the most well-known song from the movie and the soundtrack. But the track itself, I would say, is not very memorable. The title has things in it that are, useful, but I wouldn't say this track, is known, very well known.
Any chance the soundtrack to Bridges Spies was released 2 years after the film?
I don't have any knowledge about the Bridges Spies soundtrack on me, so yeah.
It seems it's probably by John Williams. I mean,
probably that feels right. That seems right.
Spielberg. So.
Right, exactly. Spielberg and Tom Hanks and all that good stuff. So John Williams is probably nearby.
Crossing the Marigold Bridge.
Yep. I guess Marigold is probably the most.
See if it's in. Let me see if it's in here somewhere. That's the Octavia button. Look, I got the Marigold is the biggest hint. I see. Something flower related. What do I know about marigolds? Not much. Is there a character named Marigold in some movie? They make butter. Marigold. It's the butter movie. There it is.
I did not know that Marigold was anything to do with butter. That is.
Isn't that a butter? Isn't it a butter manufacturer?
That could be right. I don't know. I'm not living the high life of buying exotic butters to know what the brands are. So
maybe that's Kerrygold. Anyway,
there we go.
I don't know. I think I'm going to need a hint here at least.
Marigold is very associated with a certain holiday. That's probably celebrated in California more than South Carolina.
So it's something hippy dippy, maybe like Arbor Day. In fact, I don't know that many holidays that well, I could go with MLK, but that would be making a different commentary. We have less barbecue here, I think.
That's true.
Is there a non-barbecue holiday? That's the key.
I guess that's Arbor Day again. You're still just trying like Earth Day, I guess, would probably be the...
So it's clearly neither Earth Day nor Arbor Day.
Ash Wednesday. There we go. That's giving up things for Lent. That's the anti-meat.
That's too Jewish.
Too Jewish. There we go.
Yeah. I was teaching at a Jesuit university, and I came in on Ash Wednesday, the first year I was teaching there, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on here?" It was the first time I had seen that the Ash Cross, and I'm like, it's an exciting way to learn about things.
Down in South Carolina, so I didn't really ever see the Ash. It was when I went to school. I saw like more Catholics. Like that was when I saw Ashes probably for the first time. Like, and like, huh, there you go. That's a different look. So,
but none of these for marigolds associated with a particular holiday that's more prevalent in California than South Carolina.
That's right.
And this holiday would lead me to the title of the movie, or at least the
Or at least the same way that Groundhog Day is the most well-known movie for its holiday, I would probably say this movie has determined that attribute as well, where it has become the holiday.
Okay, all right, I got it. It's Die Hard for Christmas.
There it is. The 2017 film.
The 2017 film. Die Hard 5?
I
Like
was
6?
There's not a sixth one, is there? There's only 5, right?
There would have to be a 6th one if it were 2017.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I wouldn't shock me if I found out there's a Die Hard 6, but yeah. Dies on 6 sides. Do you take another hint on this?
Yeah, I guess I need a beefier hint.
It is there is a hippie population in California, but there is also a much larger Hispanic population in the state.
Is this a Cinco de Mayo movie, which really isn't something celebrated by Hispanics, actually?
It is not Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
Thank God it's not Cinco de Mayo movie.
Wait, is Coco a 2017 movie?
Yes.
I thought it was it's not 2016? Okay.
Coco, yep. Coco is the movie here. It is from 2017, and it is about Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, which marigold is the traditional used. And when Coco goes into the or Miguel goes into the Day of the Dead world, he travels on a marigold bridge, and that is there it is. But Coco is that movie.
I started going through the list of Oscar-winning films. I didn't bother going to say the best animated film Oscar winner.
There you go.
That would have helped.
And do you know the main song from that soundtrack? The name of the song?
No, I've seen it. But
Remember Me is the name of the song. That stuff. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you could win an Oscar for.
That's right.
You could double EGOT for it.
Double EGOT. Indeed.
Yes.
Number 3.
A very good question.
Thank you. What 2 words complete this engraving? In this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is blank blank. And so you got to fill in the blanks like it's a certain 70s game show.
I thoroughly appreciate you acknowledging it as only a 70s game show. Although, actually, the Alec Baldwin version is pretty good.
It's currently on TV, yeah.
Oh, is it? I gotta go. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be a 2-word phrase that people actually know. That's what makes this interesting. Can you read the last 10 words of the quote?
Yeah. For whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is what?
All right. I want an adverb and an adjective. I want forever entombed, except that's horrible. Eternally yours. No, eternally remembered. I'm trying to think. Did you give a location for this?
I have not given a location to where this engraving is.
I'm wondering if this is actually even the Lincoln Memorial in DC.
This is the Lincoln Memorial. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I've been there more than once. I just didn't pay enough attention.
No, yeah. This is the paragraph behind Lincoln's head in the Lincoln Memorial.
I have read it in person more than once. Not closely enough. Is this also Octavia E. Butler?
It is not Octavia E. Butler. That's 3.
That's 3 words.
Estelle.
Octavia Butler.
Yeah,
right.
Octavia Butler.
Oh my God. All right. I want to find a way that I can look at these. Can you put the words up on the screen so I can just look at them rather than having me type them? Because that just looks...
Let me see. I will put it for you in the chat so our players at home cannot see.
It'd be okay with them seeing the text, right? From the question.
No, I think they just can't see it. I mean, I don't know.
Unfortunately, they can't.
Right. No. Yes. I currently don't have the technology to display things on screen right now. This is a very low rent establishment we have here at Called Into Questions.
Yeah, I super want the next word to be forever. Is forever... forever etched, forever entombed. I mean, this feels like, I don't think this is going to click if I get it, unfortunately. I think I'm just taking stabs at things. Which I've been doing a lot in the kitchen more than usual, but that's another story. And then definitely making sure, go slowly. You don't want to stab yourself and end up in the hospital. Now is the wrong time.
Bad time. This is a bad time to go to the hospital. Is San Francisco suffering from making sourdough on their own? How does sourdough making work in San Francisco? Like,
I'm not kidding. I know people who are doing that right now.
That's what Twitter informs me everyone is doing. So I was wondering, I don't know if you know, San Francisco is known for their sourdough creation. I was wondering if people
that's rice-a-roni, common mistake.
The San Francisco treat. But like, I was wondering if people make their own, how much like why not make like pumpernickel or whatever, however bread is made, I'm sure it gets made however difficult it is. I didn't know. Sourdough.
I think it requires limited ingredients. Like you have a starter, and then from that it can have the yeast generate over time.
So do you buy
heat or light or something?
So where do you buy starters from? Like the grocery store or like Amazon? Where?
I have no idea.
Yeah, like these are fair.
The chicken and the egg.
Yeah, like I understand. I just thought sourdough, the starter, seems to be the hardest thing to get, especially now. You know, like cake.
I'm wondering if you could take a starter, split it in half, and then have it grow over time. Something about the powerhouse of the cell.
Powerhouse of the cell, exactly. These are a cell. It's always cells all the way down.
In this infinity, in this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is forever etched.
That is close. The correct answer is
enshrined.
It is enshrined forever. Is the two words there? If you would yes, God. If you just said forever,
I'll take my 0 points along with a. Damn, that was close.
That was close. That was very close. That was very, very close. Yeah, enshrined forever is what the paragraph behind Lincoln says. Let's see. Very close. Etched was all over it, and forever was certainly one of the right words there.
If this was Learned League and I had 24 hours to do that, I still would not come up with the right answer. Anyway, come on.
I want a good question where I'm a huge fan of observational trivia, where it's like just things you see every day. And this is certainly, you do not see this unless you are a park ranger in the District of Columbia, but this certainly is one of the, famous.
Which I am. So.
Oh, very good. Certainly one of the things people have seen at some point in their lives. Lincoln Memorial is famous. I will say. I don't know if it's on the back of the 5 or not. You probably can't see that. You probably can't see the paragraph on the back of the 5.
Enhance.
Exactly. Very small enhance. The names of the U.S. states are on there, though. Number 4 is, although now a word meaning a mixture or blend of any type in chemistry, what name is given to an alloy of mercury with another metal?
That's an amalgam, I believe.
That is an amalgam. That is what that word is. I don't know which one came first, the mercury alloy or the word for mixture. It wouldn't shock me if it's we get the word for an amalgam from the chemical word, but I don't know what order they came in. But amalgam is correct. And number 5 is, what is the most recent election year where the president and the vice president of the winning ticket did not have a middle name?
Okay, well, we've got John, 2016. We got 2012 is Hussein. 2008. This is probably going to take a while, isn't it? 2008. I mean, we're not going to have to go before Lincoln. I'm sure of that one at least. That's so where was I? 2012 and 2008. We've got a Hussein there. 2004, Walker. 2000, Walker. 96, Jefferson. 92, Jefferson. 88, Herbert Walker. And technically 84 and 80, Herbert Walker. 76, Earl. And you said election, right?
Correct, the election year. Yeah, I mean.
It's not like Gerald Rudolph Ford Jr., born Leslie Lynch King Jr. is going to matter here, but 72, Millhouse. 68, Millhouse. 64, Baines. 60, Baines. 56, Dwight David, born David Dwight Eisenhower. Same with, we also get Millhouse as well for both of those. 52, 48, Harry S. Truman, it's the middle name. Delano gets us 44, 40, 36, 32. Herbert, Clark, Hoover. All right. Clark, Hoover. John Calvin Coolidge. It's going to be hilarious if this does end up going back to Lincoln. John Calvin Coolidge is 30. Harding, who died in this fair city, certainly has a middle name. I never know how to pronounce Gamaliel. I mean,
seems
it's a Hebrew
right.
word, right?
Yeah.
Gamaliel. Thomas Woodrow Wilson. Let's see. William Howard Taft. Oh, hi. This got interesting. So I think it's going to be 1900 or 1904. I don't think Theodore Kennedy, wow. Theodore Roosevelt, wrong family. I don't think he had a middle name. I think he's Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, and technically I think he was born a junior, but didn't really go by it. Also didn't go by Teddy. Who the fudge was their Veep in 04? And I can't think of a middle name for William McKinley. So it's going to be 100 or 04, 1900, 1904. You just want a year, right?
Just want a year.
Okay. Was Hobart? Who was Hobart? Fudge. I'm going to say 1900.
The election of 1904, Theodore Roosevelt was the winning ticket. Theodore Roosevelt has no middle name. His vice president was Charles Fairbanks, whose middle name is Charles Warren Fairbanks of 1904. In the election of 1900, William McKinley, no middle name, and Theodore, no middle name, Roosevelt beat out William Bryan and Adlai Stevenson, both who had middle names, but is the election
Ewing and Jennings.
Jennings. But the election of 1900 is the correct answer. Hobart is correct. That is McKinley's first vice president. Do you know what Garrett Hobart's middle name is?
I don't. And the amazing thing is, in the last month, I've looked up his name.
That is phenomenal knowledge to have Garrett Hobart's name. It is Garrett Augustus Hobart is what his middle name is. So in fact, McKinley's second VP was the one that didn't have a middle name, but it is the election of 1900. Very well done. So you have 3 on that set. So very well done.
2 hours later. Yeah. All right. You ready for your next 5?
Let's do it. All right.
All right.
I'm still mad about Santa Fe. That still seems like a trap. I'm not going to lie. That I had such good memories of First Baptist Church in Providence that I'm very upset that that was not the right answer. So
a trap means it was intentional. It was not.
Okay.
An unfortunate and yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
It's the question I regret the most so far. There's still 10 more to go.
There's still 10 more to go, so we'll find out. I'm gonna make you rue the day. So,
what rock pop band who won Best New Artist Grammy in February 1990 won the Best New Artist Grammy in February 1996, foreshadowing the lead singer's CMA Best New Artist win in November 2009? And technically, the award is New Artist of the Year, but whatever.
What was the first year for Best New Artist?
96.
96. All right.
Wait, should I be writing things down?
No, I'm just writing down for my own.
Yeah.
For my own sake. Yeah, you're good.
I'm totally getting pencil and paper before the next round for me. Question 2, what director put Fred Astaire on the ceiling in Royal Wedding, Gene Kelly underwater in Singin' in the Rain, and himself in a cameo in Charade? Yeah, that's the right face. Number 3, that's the face I like to see at the beginning of the question, and at the end, aha. Number 3, in 20, yeah, 2 of them are good. In 2017, Lena Waithe became the first Black woman to win an Emmy for TV comedy writing. Who was her co-winner, the show's star and co-creator? Question 4, despite winning only one major, 2016's US Open, what male golfer spent 91 weeks at number 1, the most for an American who didn't go to Stanford? I'll also note that the official world golf ranking only began in 1986. So
sure,
it's not Sam Snead.
Right, yes.
Which is, I'm sure, where you were going with that.
Nor did Sam Snead win the 2016 U.S. Open.
That's a very good point. Touche. Number 5, each of the 4 previous answers are from what one city? It's a capital city, by the way. All right, let's, anyone at home who wants to take a break, feel free, because now it's time for me to ask you the questions individually and you to blurt out all the wonderful answers, hopefully.
All right.
Again, question 1, what rock pop band, seems a reasonable description, won the Best New Artist Grammy in February 1996, foreshadowing the lead singer's CMA Best New Artist win in November 2009?
So I'm now thinking the long game as well, because I
regret not being able to. Yes,
because,
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, because it's because all technically the first 4 answers lead themselves into an aspect number 5, and there's answers I
will give you the hint. This band is from a city.
It is in fact from a city, and I don't want to be dumb, and I want to make sure I get it right, because I feel like I feel in my heart I know this, only because I've seen a metal artwork dedicated to this band. I'm pretty sure. I'd hate to
metal in what sense? Like actual physical, like an amalgam?
I will say the band for sure is not metal. The statue, in fact, is made of metal, and it is I swear this has got to be it. I will be mad if the answer is not. I'm going to have to say Hootie and the Blowfish. I think that fits 95, 90. I don't know when Cracked Rear View. That's it. 95 is right for Cracked Rear View came out around 95. This is all speculation of things I've read about. 95 seems right. And Darius Rucker for sure. Later CMA award winner, I'm sure. Also member of the Grand Ole Opry. Third Black person to ever be a part of it. I will say this is Hootie and the Blowfish is my answer.
Well, you said you're going to be mad if it's wrong, right?
I will be mad if it's wrong.
No need to be mad. You got it.
That is good.
Very nice.
I'm very excited. And, Gamecock, Darius Rucker, who is for sure this university's most excited recent alumnus. There's no doubt about it. You basically fall in line at USC if you don't like Hootie. That is for sure. People know where they stand. All right. Number 2, read it out to me so I can get mad about it again.
Number 2, what director put Fred Astaire on the ceiling in Royal Wedding, Gene Kelly underwater in Singin' in the Rain, and himself in a cameo in Charade?
Okay.
The Hitchcock's best film.
Yes, exactly. I watched Charade last year. And,
Me too.
Yeah, nice. And it's very good. And
It's fantastic.
Yeah. I've never actually seen Singing in the Rain. That is a movie I need to get to. So it's whoever directed, presumably it's whoever directed both Charade and Singing in the Rain. And I don't know who directed either. I can name some.
You just need to know one.
Yeah, that's the poison of having multiple choices like this, where it turns out they're all equally hard, even though one is all you need, but you have to come up with the one you need. And so
there's also Royal Wedding.
Apparently, there's also a movie called Royal Wedding. That is
You've probably seen, at least there was like a vacuum commercial in the late '90s, early aughts, where this Fred Astaire dancing with a vacuum cleaner on the ceiling. That's like digital recut from this film. Royal Wedding.
I've read that Charade is the best Hitchcock movie never made by Hitchcock, and
Yes, I will give you the hint that Hitchcock is not from this city.
No, he in fact is not. I believe in a state capital's answer, I can't imagine Alfred Hitchcock is known for being American, I believe, was a good description for Hitchcock.
His films from 1940 onward.
That's true. He got all of his money from America, let it be known. All of his name a movie by Hitchcock set in America. Boom. That's
Rebecca?
That's probably British. That's a book. That's one of the
1940s Best Picture. Pretty sure that's not set in the U.S.
Yeah, they love
North by Northwest. Oh, that's a bad example. Never mind.
Definitely, yeah. I believe it's more north than northwest. What are directors? Is this? I don't even have a good. I know William Wyler is a director that's from this time era. I'm going to say Wyler.
I believe William Wyler is also the only person to direct 3 Best Picture winners. However, he did not direct Royal Wedding, Singing in the Rain, and Charade. This, in fact, is Stanley Donen.
Stanley Donen. That is
definitely like the ratio of well-knotedness to films to well-knotedness of the name of the director is incredibly high.
Sure. Yeah. That is no. That did not have that. Stanley Donen. It's a good answer.
My question is, do you remember his name now?
Stanley Donen's name now?
There you go. All right, there you go. Yeah, I was wondering if that's the kind of thing that could easily peter away in like 5 seconds.
Oh no, exactly. I got you. No, yeah, yeah. I need to. That's good. It's the director of Singing in the Rain. That is a famous movie. That is. There's no. Yeah.
It is. Number 3. Lena Waithe became the first Black woman to win an Emmy for TV comedy writing, who was her co-winner, the show's star and co-creator.
I'm almost positive that she. I mean, I know. I want to make sure. I mean, she's one of the. She's the main female co-star of Master of None. I want to make sure that she's another TV show in question. But I do believe that this would be, in the time all seems right. Master of, what was the year you said?
She won the Emmy in 2017.
2017. So I believe she won it for the Thanksgiving episode of season 2 of Master of None, which she would have won. I believe it was with Aziz Ansari.
All I needed there was Ansari, but absolutely everything else you said was correct as well. Very nice.
There we go.
Very nice. Lucky guess on all of that, no doubt.
Yes, that was all just a flashlight in a cave, just seeing what I can find. Yeah.
Just like Toulouse-Lautrec. Anyway, despite winning only one major 2016 U.S. Open. What male golfer spent 91 weeks at number one, the most for an American who didn't go to Stanford?
So this is someone that was good at golf like 3 years ago.
This does not preclude him from being good at golf now. Either.
That's true. That is also fair. Oh no. Now it's coming to me in bits and pieces. Oh, my dad's a major golf enthusiast, and I know.
So he just follows the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship.
Just the only four he follows. Oh no, I'm mad. I'm blanking on this. This is famous. This dude, he decided like he stole some coke, and he got arrested at one point. Oh, he's from the Low Country. Oh man, I'm
Belgium.
Mad. Yes, hello. When I think Low Country, it's definitely Belgium. I reread Low Country. I think it was on Jeopardy, and like Low Country came up, and the answer was Belgium. And I was like, okay. And I forget that Low Country refers.
That's the first thing I think of.
No, yeah.
I mean, North and South Carolina are basically like the Netherlands and Belgium, right? I mean,
exactly. Low Country there's the upstate and the Low Country, and Low Country is the Charleston, Beaufort, Beaufort, Savannah neck of the woods. And oh God. Why I will be irked when I hear this one out loud if I don't come up with it. Man.
You may even be irked if you do come up with it.
I know. Man. I gotta write more golf questions. I write enough golf questions that I still get mad when I I don't have this, and I don't have it. I'm gonna
take a guess.
The problem is like I can name a golfer and then I know where they're from. So it's not like I'm not gonna guess like Justin Rose because he's I know he's British, for example. Like I'm not.
Good reason to rule them out.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not. I golf like more than like unlike baseball, golfers and tennis players have their flag next to them. You always really kind of know where they're from. It's not. They're more well known for their country, their homeland, more than most athletes. Give me another about 20 seconds, and if I don't come up with it, I'm taking a pass. Kind of going through the alphabet, just seeing if I can just catch something. I don't have it. I'm gonna take a pass. I don't have a.
Want to just guess a last name?
I mean, is it Dustin Johnson?
It is.
There it is. Oh, fantastic. Oh.
I'm like, at least guess a last name.
Oh, there it is. Coming in hot at the end. Dustin Johnson. That's a name. That's right. Oh God. Found it. I found it in my heart of hearts. That was and then
that's where all the barbecue is.
That's where the barbecue is.
Your last question, which I suspect you're going to have a significant difficult time with. Each of the four previous answers are from what one city?
I didn't know Aziz Ansari was from the capital of Columbia. I will say Columbia, South Carolina. I do know that Aziz Ansari and Darius Rucker are both from this fine state, but I did not know. I thought Aziz Ansari grew up in the Bennettsville, South Carolina area, which is very near where I'm from. But I will say Columbia. I do believe Darius Rucker. If you're going to guess the city for Darius Rucker, it is going to be. He filmed his MTV Unplugged on USC's Horseshoe. It is where he filmed the episode. I will say Columbia, South Carolina is my guess there.
Rucker himself is from Charleston, but the band
very much
is from Columbia.
They
And
met.
the four people were born in Columbia, South Carolina. Yes.
I did not know that Stanley Donen, which is the name I've written down. I would have forgotten if I had not written it down. That is how quickly he dissipates. So there you go.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I am totally getting pencil and paper. Give me like 10 seconds.
No, that is fine. And so for our viewers at home, this is 4 points there. By the way, while he gets his pencil and paper, this is very low tech. We're just trying to have fun here, ask each other questions. This is not meant to be serious. Hopefully, you'll just project this on your Fire Stick on your TV. You can just watch in the background as you're doing work. What you're supposed to be doing for your job. That's what it's really all about here. But we're just entertaining your day. I wanted it to be video because it technically makes it a game show. Because if we didn't have video, it's a podcast. And so I'm very excited that we're basically making a game show right now. That is, as you know, I'm very pro game show. So that is very exciting to have. All right.
You've never really shown interest in game shows before. So
that is true. I have guests in the future that I want to line up, and I have people I want for possible game show as my specialist subject. So I can't pick game show for every single person, unfortunately. So I have to.
Why not?
I guess for sake of variety, maybe. But there is, So here we go. 5 questions for you. This is your last set of 5. I think. When I was looking at my questions, I think I've asked you this one in the past, so I changed it to a new one. And so here is your new question. And number 1, the rural purge is an infamous executive decision made by television producers to cancel shows geared towards non-urban audiences. What TV show, which also starred Frank Sutton and Ronnie Shell, is considered the first show to be axed by the rural purge, airing its final episode in May 1969? Number 2, what is the most recent Best Picture nominated film whose title is just the first and last name of the main character? No middle name needed for that one. Number 3, on the alphabetical list of the official IBA cocktails, which cocktail of white rum, Galliano, triple sec, and lime juice comes last alphabetically? Number 4, in 1856, British Army officer Henry Haversham Godwin Austen joined a major research project that was led from 1823 to 1843 by what superintendent? That was the title for the leader of the project. And number 5, I figure a middle name category. You're a big baseball fan. Here is a baseball middle name question. Number 5 is, which 2 members of the 600 home run club have the same middle name? And that is question number 5. But those are your 5 questions, but let us start back up at the top. Number 1 is what TV show, which also starred Frank Sutton and Ronnie Shell, is considered the first show to be axed by the rural purge, airing its final episode in May 1969. So
you said generally considered the first?
Start
of the, okay. I've got it down to 2 shows, and I'm not sure how I'm going to pick between the 2. So I'll just go with, strangely enough, I'm going to go with the second one that came to mind. Does the answer have an actor whose dad was a famous boxer?
This is not...
Not Beverly Hillbillies?
This is not the Beverly Hillbillies.
So it's Green Acres?
It is not Green Acres.
Whoa!
So neither of these 2 shows are correct. I believe both.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. I think...
They're both part of the rural purge. Certainly.
They are all part of the show. Yeah, Green Acres ended in 1971. Beverly Hillbillies ended in 1971 as well. But there was another show. And also they did not star those 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know Frank Sutton or Ronnie Shell, personally or otherwise.
Sure.
Anyone else on the show I might have heard of?
Certainly the title character is and the actor you would know for sure, but these are the other 2.
Griffith.
No.
Matlock.
No.
Jesus.
but you're in the right family of answers. You are
and you said there's a title character?
Title character.
All right. Gomer Pyle USMC.
That is the correct answer.
All right. Well, it could be Mayberry RFD if it has a title
No,
character.
exactly. Yes. But no, Jim Nabors obviously playing Gomer Pyle. Frank Sutton played Gunnery Sergeant Carter, and Ronnie Shell played PFC, and Corporal Gilbert Duke Slater is so apparently the other two main people on the show of that is not Jim Nabors, but that is apparently the first show pre-listed as the first rural purge chopping block answer there. So
golly.
That's right, absolutely. Number 2, for the most recent Best Picture nominated film whose title is just the first and last name of the main character.
Okay, well, Aaron Brockovich is, now we're negotiating, because that's a correct answer. I mean, that satisfies the criteria, except for maybe not being the most recent. And that was a film from 2000. Let's see. I'm guessing Larry Crown, another vehicle by Tom Hanks, is not the right answer. Or Julia Roberts. Let's see. All right, might as well go through Best Picture actual winners. A Beautiful Mind, starring Beautiful Mind's not a name. Chicago's not a name. Lord of the Rings 3 is not a name.
It's probably the name of somebody. I'm sure some super.
That's actually
they name their child the Lord of first name, the Rings first middle name, the Return of the, and then their last name is King, like mine. So that works out,
04, that crappy boxing movie. 05. Speaking of lesser movies, Crash is not someone's name. Not just, well, whatever. Not the main character. Departed, No Country
Crash
for Old Men.
The movie.
Exactly, right? And that's the first and last name. I'm kidding.
I've never seen it, so I was worried that you said like not the main character. I was like, I had no idea. I thought Crash was the title of it. I didn't know it was the title.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it isn't. And it's one of those movies where everyone in Hollywood was either in it or had a friend in it.
Sure, yeah, okay. I got you.
And also it didn't have any gay cowboys in it, so that's why people voted for it, as opposed to the far better film, Brokeback Mountain. Also not the name of either characters.
That's true.
Let's see. 07's No Country for Old Men. Slumdog Millionaire. That's his name, right? No. Hurt J. Locker. The King's J speech. The J artist. Why did my brain just stop working when I needed it? It's 2012. I'll just go backwards and get to it. 2019 was Parasite. 2018 was Green Book. 2017 was Shape of Water. 2016 was Blank Light. 2015 was Blank Light. Moonlight, Spotlight. 14 is well more than 2 words. Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. 13. It's 13, so the answer must have 12 in it. 12 Years Slave. Based on a book that has the main character's name in it, but not just the main character. I guess not really. It's the diary or whatever. And now we're back to 2012. That's weird. That's very weird. This is going to really piss me off if the correct answer is 2012's Best Picture, which I'm somehow have a giant hole for. Did Amelie have a last name? That only gives me that gives me 1 year closer. But
It's a very good question. Never seen that movie. Seems different, from what I understand. French people don't have middle names, right? That's something that seems an English thing.
I'm sorry. You want to give me Toulouse-Lautrec's full name again?
That's hyphenated. I don't know what his.
No. He has. Look it up and have a good time with that.
Too many. Actually, his surname is three.
Herbert Walker.
Henry Marie Raymond de Toulouse-Lautrec Monfa. He has a triple hyphenated last name. It's not even just Toulouse-Lautrec. It is.
He's no Brian Eno, but that's
right. Yes, exactly. But Toulouse-Lautrec Monfa, which is what attacks Godzilla in some of those movies.
Barbara Streisand. Let's see. All right. This is just going to take a ridiculously long time, you realize.
So we might need to give you a little bit of a time limit before you just start naming every nominee of every year until we just stumble upon.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what's going to have to happen.
I gave you I let you have the president's rundown. We can't do that for every film year until we find out which one was right. So
you have over the 40-minute Zoom time limit. I don't see what the problem is.
That's true.
People just fast forward to the next 20 minutes from now when I'm done trying to list all the Academy Award-winning actors for these, which will lead me to film titles. Because I know winners, not nominees, but winners like, for example, I, Tonya earlier won, supporting. That gives me a 2017 film. Wait, was Tonya Harding's name I, Tonya? Is that first name I, last name Tonya?
Like I period Tonya Harding was her. Yeah. Isabel was her real first name.
That makes sense.
That feels right, honestly. It's not right, but it feels good.
Truthiness.
Do you know what Tonya Harding's middle names are?
Plural, no.
Harding is her,
married name?
I think her new current middle name, Maxine Price, apparently. I think Price might have been her married name. No, Tonya Maxine Harding is what she was competing as. Price is her current last name.
All right.
There you go. Just FYI.
All right. Let's see. Who won Once Upon a Time? Nope. Marriage Story? Nope. Joker? Nope. This is going to be incredibly boring, but Judy? Nope. This is going to be like 20 minutes of me going through random Oscar winners, tying it to names.
Yeah, this is. I'm sure you have this knowledge. If you, with enough time, you could grind it out. Let's see. I'll give you a couple minutes before you give me a final answer.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
With no offense, I will say, yeah.
There have been a crap load of Best Picture nominees since 2010. Alone. All right. Beale Street, no. I'm just going to be all over the place here. It might even be better for me to just guess Aaron Brockovich, then find out that's wrong, and then have you give me some sort of hint.
Is that what you go for?
Let's do that. Yeah.
I will say that the four most recent movies, the fourth most recent is Forrest Gump, 94.
Okay.
Jerry Maguire, 96. Aaron
Brockovich
for 2000. And then there is one more recent than that. It is, I will give you a hint, is the year 2007.
Okay. Well, supporting actor and picture are No Country for Old Men. Now I'm just completely blanking. This is unfortunate. All right, 2007. Sully.
What is Sully's middle name? That's a good question. It is not.
Is his first name not good enough? Chesley?
Right, but like, what's his? Yeah, these are all. So I guess he went by Sully, which is just a nickname of his last name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
People call him Sully Sullenberger, but Sully's just a short name for Sullenberger, right? It's not like his actual. That's weird. When you think about it, that people call him that is odd. Sully Sullenberger, like that's
Redundant.
Yeah, it's a nickname off your last name. That's not how.
Pleonism?
Sure.
Is that what a pleonism is?
Chesley Burnett.
So a 2007 Best Picture nominee where the title character is 2 words, first and last name. Well, it's too early for John Wick.
That's true.
I don't think Jonah Hex is a Best Picture nominee. The hell else won in 2007? Did this film win any Oscars?
It did.
I see. That's unfortunate.
For a pretty major category, not Best Picture, but an acting award for this movie.
Damn it. This is now not the right time to forget these. All right. Vicky Cristina Barcelona's 2008. And probably not one person's name, and I've seen the film. So. Who'd you say plays the role again?
I did not say who played the title role, turns out. That was
Did that person win the Oscar?
That person did not win the Oscar.
I see. What was the name of the character that was the Oscar-winning character?
The name of the Oscar-winning character is Karen Crowder.
How do I not know this? Oh, damn it! That's Tilda Swinton.
That is Tilda Swinton, who won.
Yes, it's Clooney, Michael Clayton.
Michael Clayton is the movie. Very well.
2 hours later. Yeah.
You found it. There it is. That is the most recent film of first and last name. So very well. Michael Clayton. Very non-memorable, but that's just how, I was like, see if you can find it in there. Number 3. There you go. But well done. You got a lot of
God, I thought we were done.
a lot of good knowledge being demonstrated. Number 3 is on the alphabetical list of the official IBA cocktails. Which cocktail of white rum, Galliano, triple sec, and lime juice comes last alphabetically?
Wow. So, obviously from the alphabetical, I immediately jumped to zombie, but I thought a zombie had dark rum and light rum in it. And assuming the international list there includes a zombie, that would make this something that comes alphabetically after a zombie. So either it does include zombie and I gotta go later, which seems really weird. White rum, Galliano, triple second, and lime juice. I was in a bar in the last month where someone was like, what in God's name do you use Galliano for? I'm like, it's a Harvey Wallbanger. That's it. I know nothing else that uses it. And I continue to know nothing else that uses it. And obviously this isn't even close to Harvey Wallbanger. We'll see a little bit of vodka. And orange juice. I'm worried I'd get diabetes from this. Very sweet. Let's see. All right. Well, all right. If zombie isn't a drink in the, what was the, you used the international
IBA list. Yeah, IBA.
Sure. It's a surprisingly short list. It's like 100 something.
It's not. Yeah, it's not It feels like about what, 60 or so, 60 or 70, somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Even less than I thought.
I'm just like looking at the list on Wikipedia and just kind of spitballing it. 5, 6, 7.
Sure. So I'm going to assume there's some drink in there that begins vodka, and this doesn't have vodka in it, so this alphabetically comes after vodka. So now I have to think of a drink name I can think of that begins with either a very late V or W, X, Y, or Z. X seems incredibly unlikely. Or if the IBA definition of zombie is incredibly different than the one I'm used to. So I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with this, frankly. And I assume we've almost run out of internet thanks to the last question. So I'll say zombie.
Zombie is not on the list. It would be the alphabetically last if it were. This is under the new era drinks list. All this seems very made up. The ones that are in the W category are whiskey sour and white lady, and the one that is after this begins with the letter Y, if that helps. It is a Caribbean. Go ahead.
Something begins with yellow.
Yellow is the first word.
I mean, Galliano, so it makes sense. A yellow daiquiri.
That's not bad. That's
yellow. Yeah.
It's Yellow Bird is the name of the cocktail. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Sure. I mean, I guess it exists. I don't know who's drinking them. I don't know what bartender, how IBA. The list of IBA cocktails seems like more of a trivia thing than it is a actual bartender thing. I don't know. I feel like real good trivia players know more about the IBA cocktails that they
bartenders do.
Yeah, I'm sure they know how to make a number of them, but they're not worried about like the Golden Cadillac and like other cocktails on the list. They just seem like off a random website. There you go, Yellow Bird and a cocktail. Number 4 is an 1856 British Army officer, Henry Haversham Godwin Austen, joined a major research project that was led from 1823 to 1843 by what superintendent? Who was in charge of that research project that Henry Haversham Godwin Austen joined in 1856?
So Godwin's law says that this argument is going to, at some point in time, devolve into one of us calling the other one Hitler, right?
I believe that is Godwin's law.
And I assume it's from this. So, wait, did you say in 1856 some dude joined a project that ran from 1823 to 1843?
Well, from 1823 to 1843, the guy I'm looking for headed the project.
Gotcha.
And I will say that Godwin's law of apparently Godwin's rule of Hitler analogies, alternate name, is not that same person.
That seemed
yes.
That is unlikely. I mean, and I assume he's not from Great Expectations either.
No, he's not from Great Expectations. So
I see Haversham and Godwin. That's where Austen.
Sure.
So in 1856, a British Army officer joined a project whose superintendent. So this dude was on a project whose superintendent was
the person I'm looking for.
The person you're looking for, and the person you're looking for, I guess better flipping it around, the person you're looking for was superintendent of a project that later had as part of it.
Correct.
Henry Haversham Godwin Austen.
That's right.
And I should presumably recognize something about the name Henry Haversham Godwin Austen.
There's a part of it that could lead you somewhere else.
Spell Austen, please.
Austin here is spelled Austen.
All right. British Army, 1856. So a little after the Crimean War. Superintendent of a project. What a weird term.
Yeah, you can say leader, captain, president. I don't really know exactly what. It just means that was the term they used for the person heading the project. You know.
I'm trying to remember what exactly. So all I've got is two ideas, and they're probably not useful, but whatever. The namesake of the Smithsonian, John Smithson. I'm trying to remember anything about what the hell he did, which has nothing to do with Henry Haversham Godwin Austen. And additionally, I assume this is a project that if I could figure out the project, I would probably know the answer.
I can also my next hint. I can give you a very subtle hint, but also I can name the project. I think the project could help unlock a lot of things for you at the same time.
So a project, presumably a British project, though not necessarily, that started in the early 1800s. So the very first thing that popped into my mind, and I really wish I'd read The Professor and the Madman, or at least started to, is the OED, but it's not like I can't tell you who ran the OED from 1823 to 1843.
I can only name one person ever associated with the OED, and this person is not that, because Tolkien at some point spent some time working with the OED. That was
trying to translate it into Elvish or something.
Exactly. Yeah, just like he was looking up words. I don't know. I don't know how working for a dictionary works. I bet it's magnanimous. I'm trying to find like a fun dictionary word to use for the end of that sentence. Fun would not be a good word for the rest of that joke.
I don't know.
So I'll give you two hints. I'm going to take a shot at it before I give you a hint if you want to.
No, I think I need a hint.
All right. So Godwin Austen is the former name of something.
Yeah, that does sound familiar, doesn't it? Godwin Austen. Is this? Oh, no, never mind. I don't know. Is that Everest?
So,
so no.
The project in question is the Great Trigonometrical Survey. Is the project in question that Godwin Austen joined in 1856, and the Great Trigonometrical Survey went to Asia and started mapping everything out there. And Henry Haversham Godwin Austen.
So is the answer Everest?
In fact, he discovered K2. Mount Godwin Austen is the former name of K2, and the person that ran it originally is Sir George Everest, who is the.
I think it's Everest actually.
That might be also fair, Everest, but Sir George Everest is the person that ran the Great Trigonometrical Survey. So there you go.
That is a very good question. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So,
even though I missed it.
Good. Like I said, a geography question in there of he was technically second in command to Everest in the sense that he was K2 and Everest was Everest. But as far as I can tell, they didn't bump into each other. I think they were overlapping. I think when Everest left the charge, he did not hang around the office, or however hanging around the office was when you were mapping the mountains of Asia. I don't think they had like a 9 to 5 they reported to. And your last question is, which two members of the 600 Home Run Club have the same middle name?
Well, there's Barry Lamar Bonds. There's Henry Louis Aaron. There's George Herman Ruth. I can't actually think of Willie Mays' middle name, which is disturbingly embarrassing. And Mays is Bonds' godfather.
That is true. I'm not going to argue against that. That is.
So Willie, now I really want this to just rest on Willie Mays having the middle name Herman, Lewis, or Lamar. And if that's the case, which is the most likely? God, how would I not remember this? So Lewis, Lamar, Herman.
I'm excited how hard this question is playing. This is what I want.
Yeah.
I wanted.
No, you picked something that should have been really easy for me. This screams me.
Baseball history and middle names. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. We had books for round one. We had presidents for round two. And I was like, baseball is a perfect way to cap off a middle names category.
I'm not really that into baseball. Let me change out of this jersey real quick.
Whose jersey is that you're wearing, by the way? Let's see. It's gonna. I see. I was wondering if it was gonna be. It was gonna be Willie Mays. That might even be more embarrassing if you cannot pull Willie Mays' middle name wearing his jersey.
That would have been great. No. Wrong team, technically. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure I have to pick Willie Mays and then decide if Willie Mays' middle name is Lamar, Lewis, or Herman, assuming it's any of them. And I started writing down numbers too, and I wrote what looks like 7-11 right by Willie Mays, which is amazing, or by Hank Aaron, excuse me. Except those are fives, so it makes more sense.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Turner Field was located at 755 Hank Aaron Drive. Always a good fact. Yeah.
Oracle Field, whatever it's called now, 24 Willie Mays Plaza.
I will say that is no longer the Brave Stadium. We have moved to Cobb County, which is Truist is the current name. If they ever have baseball again, that's the thing is the fans hated the name so much they decided to not have baseball until they fixed the stadium name. So there you go.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I think I would have to end this and just guess. Willie Lewis Mays and Henry Louis Aaron.
All right. There's not so much hints here. I'm going to kind of run down the names here of who or the 600 Club are. It is Barely Lamar Bonds. It is Henry Louis Aaron. It is George Herman Ruth. It is Alexander Emmanuel Rodriguez.
Sure.
It
or
is
A-Rod, as I have written down here.
Sure. It is Willie Howard Mays Jr.
Okay.
Howard is his middle name. It is Jose Alberto Pujols Alcantara. It is George Kenneth Griffey Jr.
You said 600 Club, didn't you?
Yes, that's a 600 Club.
Whoops.
Oh, yes. Would that change any of your mind? Of what I've said, do you have a different answer?
No, but I think a little more. Just Go ahead. I'm an idiot.
I will say that Samuel Kelvin Peralta Sosa is at 609. And I will say that the only other player in this group is one of the correct answers compared to the other 8. So if you could name that 9th player, his middle name is the same as, I guess, one of the other 8 I have told you.
No.
The 8th player is Jim
Ninth.
Thome. He's number 8 on the list. Same as number 9. Jim Thome is the player that we do not have. Do you know what his middle name is? This is ultra good knowledge. Jim Thome's middle name.
I'm going to take a wild guess. He doesn't match up with either of the Hispanic players in the list. Probably not Lamar. It's just an uncommon name. James. No, I don't know. Lewis or Herman.
It is James Howard Thome. It is in fact.
Whose middle name is Willie? Yeah. Anyway.
There you go. So Willie Mays and Jim Thome are the 2 members of the 600 Club that have the same middle name. So I was told with my brother before this, and I was like, Jeremy knows these things. Like Jeremy, I think him knowing Jim Thome's middle name is very on the table. That was time I had a lot of faith that you might.
No, I don't know sports.
That's fair. Sports is hard.
But you picked something. No, that's a great question.
I like to think I'm probably the first person to ever ask that question. I can't imagine that's a question that's ever been asked before. I'm very proud how, I don't think anyone's ever seen that question before. That's some ultra, maybe by some people at a bar one time knew that incredible fact. But yep, that is Willie.
And those 2 people are dead now, so really.
Willie Howard Mays. Willie's his real first name. And James Howard Thome. So there you go. I wanted a baseball, and I was like, I wonder how many of the home run club you need to have until you find 2 middle names that match. And when I discovered Jim Thome.
It's 23, right?
Exactly. You need 23 in order to get 50%. Although to find only the top 9 home run hitters of all time, which, nice. But yeah, there you go. Very well done on all that. That's some incredible nonsense going on there. And I will, let's see. 1 and 2 halves make 2. Give you 1. Yes. 1 for, 1 and 2 halves gives you 2. So there you go. That is your round there. Like I said, this is the incredibly hard round anyway. This is for what the hell is going on type questions. And so we want to hopefully this is like making the half court shot. If you make it, it's like, holy shit, I got it. That's what I want to go for these round 3 nonsenses. So let's see if we can get steamrolled here. All right.
I assume we're not airing this one. This is just our test, so I can rewrite questions. Anyway, here are your 5 questions. Ready? Question number 1. In 1995, Chief Justice William Rehnquist appeared in court with pimped-out robes. Specifically, he had added 4 gold stripes to each sleeve. What inspired this pimping out? Question 2. What are the first and last names, no middle names required, of the Gilligan's Island characters usually referred to as the Professor and the Skipper? Number 3, the OED's first recorded use of the initialism OMG occurred in a 1917 letter from Jackie Fisher to whom? Question 4, James Farley, who managed FDR's first 2 presidential campaigns, was the first guest on what TV show? Number 5, what 2 U.S. state capitals each border another state? There's your 5 questions.
Okay, got you.
Pause here. Now's a good time to pause if you don't want to hear Chris giving us all the answers. But if you do, I'll read question 1 again. Question 1, in 1995, Chief Justice William Rehnquist appeared in court with pimped-out robes. Specifically, he had added 4 gold stripes to each sleeve. What inspired this pimping out?
Okay. There was I don't know if you saw any of the news recently, but there was an impeachment not too long ago. And That was an eternity ago. I'm almost positive, but
Clinton? I had actually forgotten that we had recently impeached the
there was,
president.
yes, in fact, time means nothing anymore. I don't know if you know that, but like,
this real life has gotten crazier than Twin Peaks.
March is the longest decade in history. Is the current month we're in? There's been no longer time. Yeah.
All right, T.S. Eliot, right? March is the cruelest month.
Yes, and it has stretched for eons at this point. But Rehnquist appeared in the House of Congress to preside over the impeachment trial of Bill Clinton, and the 4 stripes that were on his thing, which apparently was never been done before, and only like RBG wearing her white lace collar thing, the only person to do this. I believe that Rehnquist was inspired by a Gilbert and Sullivan comic opera to order to put this on, and I think that the opera is Eolanthe or Eolanthe, however you pronounce the name of that comic opera. That is my guess.
To get full credit, I need the correct pronunciation.
Oh,
yes, it is.
Okay.
It is Iolanthe. Yes,
Iolanthe,
I believe
yes.
is the pronunciation.
That is
at least according to the pronunciation guide I have here in my answers.
Sure. No, I am not a troubadour. Is that the word people use for Gilbert Sullivan?
Savoyard, I think.
Savoyard, yeah. But I have a friend that's big into Gilbert and Sullivan. I've heard.
Is it Aaron Sorkin?
Is not. I'm not personal friends with Aaron Sorkin, but yeah, that's the. But no, people that are. I've seen like a friend like first line. I toss up on Patience, the Gilbert and Sullivan opera. And it's like, man, that's good knowledge. That's what I'm talking about. Is when you see like people like use that kind of knowledge on something. It's like God bless it. That is fantastic. So, but
yeah, my level of knowledge is. Oh, that does sound like the title of a Gilbert and Sullivan.
Sure, no, it's like that was. I learned a new name of an opera at that moment, and it was excellent to see it happen in person. It's like that is good knowledge. But that was American history on the Iolanthe, however it goes. All right.
Iolanthe. On to number 2. What are the first and last names of the Gilligan's Island characters, usually referred to as the Professor and the Skipper?
I was born in the year 1992, and I'm pretty sure Gilligan's Island debuted 25 years before I was even born.
Well before I was born either.
Roy Hinckley and Jonas Grumby, or Gumby. I think it's Grumby. I'm going to go Roy Hinckley and Jonas Grumby.
Those are both correct as well.
That's what I'm talking about. That is, I am pleased that Grumby was right. Like, it's not I'm Gumby. Damn it! I believe was not the right answer, so I had to make sure it was Grumby. I believe
that's the mnemonic to use. I think.
There you go. And Gilligan is mono-named as far as we know. I was yeah.
In the pilot script, though it's never said on screen, I believe the pilot script lists him as Willie Gilligan.
That seems right. That feels good.
I don't know if that counts as canon, but I would never ask about it because it feels iffy.
Sure. Yeah.
Number 3, the OED's. Very nice. The OED's first recorded use of the initialism OMG occurred in a 1917 letter from Jackie Fisher to whom?
I think I don't really have much reason on this. I think it might be Winston Churchill, but I mean he would have been active during like the World War I. But I don't really have like the story. I think I've heard this story, you know. I'm going to go Winston Churchill. If it's not that, I don't know.
It is, in fact, Winston Churchill.
What was the like? Was it like a Gallipoli or a battle? Or just like a letter?
Jackie Fisher had just retired, Jackie Fisher was the retired head of the fleet, admiral of the fleet. And at the time, Churchill was Secretary of War. And it was, I think it was in regards to various medals being given out, and give them out to certain people. Let me see if I find the. I hear that a new order of knighthood is on the tapis. OMG, parentheses, oh my God. Showerage on the Admiralty.
Big fan of how he put. He had to explain. Of course, if you define, you have to come up with a definition for it. So if he came up with OMG, you have to let it be known what it stands for, because it's like when people say like Shakespeare invented words. I've always wondered, well, how did the audience know what these words were that he was making up in on the spot for all of his viewers? So that is good.
Hand out a dictionary, obviously.
Exactly. That is. It seems pretentious to make up a word for a play that everybody's watching. That's just that's but yeah, OMG. All right, Winston Churchill.
That's why Cliff Notes were invented. The OED even notes, perhaps with punning reference to the Order of St. Michael and St. George, which at this point had no Grand Master or Chancellor for several years. These were appointed October 4th, 1917.
That's very good, but I think Churchill is probably going for a Occam's razor definition of what OMG stood for. What a pun that the Order of Miguel. That's ultra.
Churchill was the recipient. This is the great Jackie Fisher who coined it.
Got you.
Best known for coining OMG.
That's pretty good, honestly. That's
number 4. James Farley, who managed FDR's first 2 presidential campaigns, was the first guest on what TV show?
Okay, that's James Farley.
Chris Farley's uncle. I'm kidding about that, just to be clear.
To be fair, that could be. I mean, that feels.
It could be. It feels right.
That feels right. Like, on what TV show? And he managed. You said, read that all again. Just want to make sure.
James Farley, who managed FDR's first 2 presidential campaigns, was the first guest on what TV show?
TV show. I want to make sure I had the medium right. And so the thing I want to is trying to, what would be a good TV show to pick? And like, I can't imagine. Like, I don't want to say like the Jack Parr Tonight Show, and it's something wild like the Ali G Show. Like, that's the thing, is I'm worried it's going to be something. It's got to be I've seen the list of first. I mean, I've looked at it before, like first host, first guest of shows, and I'm trying to think FDR. So it's got. I mean, like, it has to be something from the 50s through 70s. I mean, maybe it's the 80s. I mean, if he would have been. He'd have been 50 plus whatever age he was managing the campaign of FDR. It's got to be something. It can't be anything glitzy. It can't be anything. I was trying to think what could be a TV show that would have. Like Stone Phillips was the Colbert Reporter's first guest. It's a very good fit.
Can confirm. Yes.
Yeah, yes. And so I'm trying to think. It can't be anything, I don't want to say fun or entertainment, but it's got to be something boring. Or enough where you'd have like a former campaign manager. Man, I'm trying to think what are shows. I wonder if it's going to be a famous show or it's going to be. It's like going to be an iteration of the Tonight Show. Like, I wonder what Johnny Carson's first guest was. I don't know there's so many talk shows. How about, for no really good reason, I don't really have a good, I mean, just like it's a TV show of the past. I'm going to go the Merv Griffin Show. I don't have a good reason. That's a show that had a lot of guests. I've never seen any clips of it. To me, Merv Griffin created 2 TV shows, and I've never really seen Merv Griffin do his thing.
Merv Griffin's Crosswords and Wheel of Fortune.
There you go. That's the 2 shows in question here. I've never actually seen Merv Griffin interview a person on the show. He did for like 1,000+ episodes. Like, I know he did a lot, but I'm going to guess the Merv Griffin Show. That is my guess.
Are you familiar with Dick Cavett?
I am familiar with Dick Cavett. Is it the Dick Cavett Show?
He's also wrong.
Okay.
What if I told you instead, so not Merv Griffin, and I'll tell you about internet hole I fell down while writing this question. The show was hosted by co-creator Martha Roundtree on November 6th, 1947.
So possibly this is, man, that even feels better. It's possibly the oldest network show on television. Is it Meet the Press?
How could Meet the Press be a 1947 show? It's still on. That's
No,
insane. And yes, that is absolutely correct.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Man,
yes.
That is, yeah, I
had in the first wording of this question had the phrase "still running."
No, yeah, that's
which I think made it a little too easy.
I don't know why. I mean, yeah, a political figure on a television show that has guests, and Meet the Press certainly fills those bills. That is not that. I was thinking like the Tonight Show with old figure, and like no, sure. Meet the Press. The most logical show that person would be on would be Meet the Press. And
when in doubt, guess Bill Murray or Will Ferrell. I think Will Ferrell was the first guest on multiple of Conan shows, and Bill Murray on multiple of Letterman shows. I tried to find out who was the first guest on Tonight, the Steve Allen original incarnation of the Tonight Show, and I got nowhere. Including, I watched the first 15 minutes of the first show, like this crappy video, but it was still interesting.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
There was not enough swearing for me. I expected a lot more from Steve Allen. Yeah, I still don't know who was the first guest on the first Tonight Show.
That is odd. Do you know who was the first guest on the Jay Leno show? This was the 10 o'clock show he hosted.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Is not what he was not the. That might be right, but there was another person that was on the episode that had a sit down with Jay Leno. I think Jay Leno
was two chairs, sure.
And it was, this person was coming off of a current event this person was involved with in the world of entertainment. And Jay Leno was the first person to interview him after this all happened. It's just kind of fun.
This is I'm trying to remember basically the year that Conan O'Brien hosted the Tonight Show. Like he hosted for like 7 months or whatever. So the beginning of that, right? Basically the beginning of that.
Right.
After that.
However all that timeline worked out.
Was that like 2010? When was that?
I have 2010 in my mind. I haven't looked it up, but 2010 is about the year in my mind.
2010, so it could be a Winter Olympics. But it's an entertainment figure, just come off some event. Is this a bad thing for that person?
This was a very not good thing that happened for this person. Yeah, it's
So this is obviously well after he interviewed Hugh Grant.
Yeah, this is not
on the Tonight Show. Yeah. Those are the 90s. No, I'm not going to.
It's Kanye West. It was immediately after the Beyonce had the greatest video of all time interruption.
I'm going to let you finish. No. Yeah, this is a great story explaining the answer, but I'll let you finish. The greatest trivia question about this of all time is
yeah. But that was it was like, and Kanye looked like sullen. It was kind of weird. It was almost like, I remember watching it. Our family we were like big Jay Leno fans in our household, and it was weird. Like it was like Kanye was it was like he was almost like as a captive. Like he was answering these questions about this. It wasn't like he volunteered. Like, I don't really know. It must have been some press agent was like, you need to go do this. And it was like, it's fun. Like, I like Kanye when he does interviews. Like we did Jimmy Kimmel sometime last year. We're putting, new albums type stuff. But but it was like weird, like him being like shook, like having to answer these questions. Like, do you feel sorry for what you did? It was all kind of weird. What a way to like ring the bell for Jay Leno's new show was like Kanye coming after. But yeah.
And there were no return viewers. So there were apparently two guests that night. I think you can guess who the two of them are.
Was it Jerry Seinfeld and Kanye West? Was it very good? So Jerry Seinfeld.
I'm still trying to figure out which one of them was on first, because that's what really matters.
Yeah, that is fair. But yeah, it was Kanye was there. That was the Jerry Seinfeld, sure, he would have been he's a good first guest for things. That also is a good, he's a good
And they
interview.
talked about cars for an hour.
Sure, exactly. They both like, I wonder how much, yeah, there we go. But yeah, Kanye West. But yeah, Meet the Press. What a very straightforward, good question that I decided to the Merv Griffin show. I'm sure Merv Griffin was good at talk hosting.
Jerry Seinfeld was the celebrity guest on the episode. West sat down for a previously unplanned interview, so they had booked him as a musical guest, and then the
sure
happened. So it's still not clear chronologically the rundown of the episode, and there's no the hell way, even for trivia, I'm watching that.
I can promise you that as someone has look up things from like old Tonight Show episodes, that media stopped existing in 2013. Like NBC, like the NBC media players just like erase everything. It's all so like none of that stuff.
SNL is really good. On the
SNL,
other hand.
no, sure, SNL is better. And especially how like prolific they are on YouTube and things like that. That certainly. Old Hulu links are all dead for SNL, unfortunately. That's a good. And I think about like Daily Show and Colbert Report, how that stuff I'd love to see over and over. But like the Comedy Central media players are just terrible. Like it's hard to find good clips of the old times. I've always lamented if I have like an oldies channel that just shows old Colbert and Daily Show, just like back to back. That's all I want. Like how like Boomerang shows old cartoons and like Buzzer shows old game shows, things like that. Why not just have the two? Comedy Central has 40 years of original content, and they'll like rerun The Office for 6 hours a day. It's very
not quite 40 years, but yes.
I mean, 1980 to 2020 isn't like
Comedy Central in 1980.
I don't know. That seems
almost sure. I'm fine, but yeah.
Yeah, there we go. But
there was a comedy channel beforehand, and there was like short attention span theater. Anyway.
Yeah, 89 apparently. So 30 years, not 40 years, but 4 decades.
Still quite a long time.
Yeah, well, that's a good haul. They've done well. So
I've watched like an SNL Weekend Update from like the late 80s, and they'll be cracking jokes about like the Iran Contra, and they'll like make like a Fawn Hall joke that's just like crude and obvious, whatever, and I'm like I'll laugh, whatever. Then they start making jokes about like 3 people I've never heard of, and the whole audience gets it because of course it's 1987,
right?
And in the news, but it's actually quite, I think, really surreal to watch stuff like that. But I worry that a lot of Daily Show, especially Daily Show, might turn out like that. A lot of it's topical, especially the monologue. The guest isn't always.
Right. I think it's better. I think Daily Show and Colbert would hold up better because they present most of their jokes within larger stories. Things like Weekend Update, they're just one-liners. So there's kind of like you have to know the current event. But like at least like Daily Show and Colbert, they kind of like weave as like a larger narrative. So at least like things make
be better.
Yeah, not that I'm not trying to like defend the Jon Stewart Enterprise, just like like things like old monologues would never hold up.
Busboy Pictures or whatever it is, Busboy Productions.
I think that's right. But yeah, like things like old Carson monologues would mean nothing. Like it would just be like the joke of the day, and the joke of the day hasn't been the day for a good while. So
from the before times,
from the long ago would be.
I just meant anything more than 2 weeks ago. This is the before time.
Yeah, that was a different era. It was at least a few eras ago, at least one epoch. All right, let's go over the state.
Question number 5.
Yes, number 5.
Which 2 U.S. state capitals each border another state?
Yeah, I was doodling on this. There's about 50 state capitals. If you
roughly. That's true.
About that number, and I was trying to.
These are U.S. state capitals, so you can narrow it down to exactly 50.
Yes, that is. Neville Fogarty likes the funny joke when a category on Jeopardy appears like time zones, and Alex will say like, "How many are there? We'll find out after the break," and then he gets mad that he never reveals how many there are. So like state capitals, how many are there?
I don't know how many time zones there are. I mean, what?
There's 24 time zones.
There's plenty more than that.
Well, there's only like the half, but there's like 24 numbered ones, and they have like there's like
but there's like Nepal is like 15 minutes ahead of India, which is like half an hour ahead of.
Those are technically different.
Christmas Island. Oh, fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get too trivial. Was that the problem?
There's time zones are made up anyway. Time is made up. We know that for sure. And
I think you said that before.
Yeah, time is. Oh,
In
for
the
sure.
future?
Time no longer exists. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know if you've been living.
I have definitely had a. What day is this?
Yeah, it is. But no, I was trying to kind of go through some state capitals on the paper here, and I have the states alphabetical memorized, so that helps out when it comes to things like this. But it doesn't really do everything. I feel like most states have central state capitals as if they were designed that way, as if that is the selling point for a state capital, is that it is in the center of the state within. And
I think that's far from common.
what? Just
being in the center of the state.
I mean, not all are in the center of the state, but that is often a selling point for many states. That was South Carolina's, for example, was that it used to be Charleston, and they moved it up to the Columbia for transportation reasons. Back when, it took days to get somewhere. God, things used to suck.
Chris, tone it down. I'm not that old.
No, back when horses, back when your horse was the way to get somewhere. Oh my God.
Again, I'm not that old.
I don't really have any good leads on these state capitals. I'm going to name two cities that are in states that are small. I mean, I don't think. I was trying to think where the capitals of cities are. I mean, it's trying to pinpoint on the map. I'm going to guess.
Are there any you're ready to rule out? Definitely, in addition to, of course, Columbia, South Carolina.
I can name a number of cities that I know aren't right. Like, for example, Atlanta is not right. Sacramento, I believe, is not right. I mean, I can just, the two of ours. I mean, there's a number. There's probably going to be.
If you do that with 48 of them, you're set.
I don't think I can do
40 of them. You've got some good odds.
I probably have about 30 I could for sure eliminate. And then that's the thing, is how close they get to the state borders. And with nothing else, I'm going to go Dover and Annapolis. Those are two cities that are in small locations. There's not much interior Dover. I Providence is the smallest one, but having been there recently, I do know that Providence doesn't border a different state. So I don't really know much about Dover and Annapolis. I know some things within them, but I don't know what their municipality borders are. So I'm going to guess Dover and Annapolis. They are near each other. I mean, probably something like Helena is more interesting as an answer, but I don't have any idea Helena's location within the state of Montana. But I will go Dover and Annapolis for my two guesses.
So I will tell you the two most common wrong answers when these were play tested. Providence, but luckily you know your Providence, and Dover. And I thoroughly appreciate the logic there. Go for something small.
Sure.
So Dover's not correct, and neither is Annapolis.
I'm disappointed. That is
I believe Annapolis is, on the water there.
The entire state, Maryland geography is not great for me. To me, it's the entire state of Maryland is one city tall. You basically, every city,
except for the part with Annapolis in it.
Yeah, every city in Maryland borders Virginia and Pennsylvania. Depending on where the town limits are. I've never really thought that it's tall enough to have multiple cities like that. So, but no. So I guess Dover would border part of Maryland. I guess was my logic there. It was that some part of it would, wherever Dover is, famously you cannot fly to it. You have to fly into Philly and drive. But
that's funny you mentioned Philly, because that's very close to one of the correct answers. Kind of close to one of the correct answers.
I guess Trenton.
Trenton is across the Delaware River. You may be familiar with a famous person and some other people with him crossing that Delaware to go to the Battle of Trenton. And that is from Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Doesn't matter the name of the city in Pennsylvania. It's from Pennsylvania. And It's not clear from the painting that he's crossing a future state boundary, but he is.
So Trenton's one of them. That is
Yes.
I mean, I know that Trenton. I knew Battle of Trenton. I knew the Delaware River, and but I didn't. I guess I never really. Yeah, some of that Philly geography I'm not great on. I'd love to go to Philly and like do things there. It's definitely on my things, like places to. I like to see Philly in a, more seeing things going up that way. But Trenton, New Jersey, Still bad Dover is not right. So is the other state capital East Coast, or is it west or east of the Mississippi?
It is west of the Mississippi.
West of the Mississippi. And those are large states. Fun fact. I don't know if you knew that. What is let's see. Austin, nope. Oklahoma City, unsure. Topeka, unsure. Lincoln, possibly. Pierre, don't know. Bismarck, don't know. That's the thing, is they all, like, I can name all these capitals, but like pinning the tail on the donkey is the tricky thing here. I believe Denver's very central of its state. Salt Lake City as well. Phoenix is pretty central. Santa Fe, I think, is in the northeast. I think Albuquerque is central and Santa Fe is in the northeast. I think, is it in the 6-state column of Texas to New Mexico, or Texas to North Dakota, or is it west of that?
It is still west of that.
God, so.
And for free, I will rule out Alaska and Hawaii.
That was, Juneau is the only state capital to border a different country. I knew that fact because it borders Russia.
Yeah, nice. So you have 11 options left.
Yeah, and I don't have any strong. I can name a few that I know aren't right. Like I think the four corner states aren't right. 3 I'm more confident on than the 4th one. California, Sacramento is very top central of the state. I will go. I like Salem or Boise. Either of those two. Cheyenne, who knows where Cheyenne is? I'm going to go Boise, Idaho.
Cheyenne is actually very far southeast in the state. Not quite far enough southeast.
Gotcha.
Boise is super west in the state. Not quite west enough. Salem is, it's not going to help you. Portland is on the border. But,
right.
Salem's kind of middle-ish.
Yeah.
This is on technically the boundary shared with another state is property of this city that's in a lake.
That's ultra specific.
Yes.
I do not have.
This city borders another state thanks to a lake.
That is.
That lake is in. Have you seen Godfather Part 2?
I have seen that. So this is. So is it Carson City, Nevada? Nevada?
It is Carson City, Nevada.
No.
Yes, Nevada. Indeed.
I had to correct myself to the Nevadans who are presumably watching this video, so I want to make sure. So
Also
Carson City. Yeah,
Carson City and Trenton.
Carson City and Trenton. There you go. So I will take on my credit there I think the first 3. I went 3 for 3 and then 0 for 2, which is very fine.
You killed it in that round.
Very. That was exciting. And by the way, we have one more question left to go. This is for both of us. This is from Chris Adams, another crossword person who has written this question for us. He sent me into an email. I have not seen this question beforehand. I will read it out for both of us to ponder at the same time. And we will lock in our own answer. So here we go.
Feel free to cut and paste it to the chat too.
All right. Unfortunately, I have 2 different laptops. The one I'm reading it off of is not the laptop that is.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Assuming correct typing behavior, what are the only 2 states whose names can be typed with one hand on a QWERTY keyboard? And I can go ahead and tell you I have my answer.
Jesus.
Yep. I will write it down for posterity reasons. I guess don't look down at your computer, I guess is the only fair way to do it.
I can still, yeah, sure. That's,
There you go, put a paper on it.
I'm just going to,
Sure, no. I will say Chris had no idea. Other Chris had no idea what the questions that would have been asked at today's game were. He just randomly sent me one question. I believe he has some other ones that I might read out in a moment. But this is the question he wrote for both of us. By the way, the title of this question is "Hands of State," which is a very good title for this question. Good round name.
Now I'm just making sure. Now it's gonna be hilarious when I miss. Oh, I got it. And
All right. So you got your answers. So I'll let you go ahead and tell me what you have, and I will read out what I have as well.
here, I can write it on a sheet of paper.
There you go. All righty. And then you can go ahead and show it for the screen for everyone. Yep. And this is, yep. Mine might be backwards, but it says Texas.
Is forward.
There you go. Texas.
Forward for me.
There. Oh, got you. Texas and Ohio. Scroll down. He says Texas and Ohio, and he says the trick I think is realizing that both answers will be short. I think Ohio would be easy to get from knowing the keyboard, but Texas probably won't pop out as easy. But we both have it right, and I believe there are
Texas. I got almost immediately, and then it took me forever to get to Ohio.
There we go. By the way, we have 3 more questions. We'll just answer them together. No reason to play them separately. But number 2 was an easy internet question. The logos for both Google and eBay are colored letters. What color is the letter E in both logos? And
Yellow?
It is red. It's red.
Is it red? Okay.
The 2 G's are blue. The O
B-R-Y-B. It's blue, red. So it's blue, red, yellow is the first 3.
Right. Both G's are blue. The L is green. And I believe the E is red. I think red is the color there. I'll scroll down and make sure. It is red.
That's right.
Number 3 is Broadway wordplay. What 2 actresses whose last names are anagrams of each other both played the witch in Into the Woods? The first debuted the role on Broadway in 1987. And the other debuted it on film in 2014.
So Meryl Streep is in that. Wait, no, sorry.
Ooh, Streep, and then
Bernadette Peters.
Bernadette Peters. There you go. Boom. That's got to be it. Let me scroll down and make sure. Yep, that is right. Very, very good. I knew she was in that movie. But there's like a bunch, I know James Corden's in it. I don't really know what that movie's about. I know it's about Disney characters or in a musical, basically.
Certainly not Disney. There'd be a little bit of a lawsuit there. It's Sondheim.
Well, no, yeah, I know it's Sondheim, but it's all like the fairy tale characters that Disney also used are also in that. And the other one is just short of the end zone. Since the college football playoff began in 2014, 2 teams have lost the championship game in their only playoff appearance. Name both.
Let me know when it's over.
Oh, man.
USC.
Neither the one founded in 1801 or the one whose state was founded in the 1850s is a correct answer. We have never made it to the playoffs.
I'm sure I could have ruled out the California one.
Since 2014, what a solid, fair question. Notre Dame was in a championship not too long ago, but I don't know.
So they're only?
I don't know. That's my problem. I don't know if they're only or not. This is the thing that I have a sibling who would be very on top of this, and I have I have friends here in the city of Columbia, South Carolina, who would expect more of me to know college football playoff questions. This seems I don't have this. Obviously any like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. So it's 2 teams. They've only been in there one time. They didn't win it. Wisconsin didn't win one not too long ago, I think. Notre Dame's also a possibility. So like Alabama, Clemson. I don't know who else comes after that. Those two teams have dominated it for so long.
You're a big
Georgia,
Clemson fan, right?
no, turns out it's the other one. Maybe didn't Georgia lose one? I think Georgia might be one. I don't. Do you have any say in this, or you're letting me talk? Okay, Georgia.
I remember the statement of the question and conserve the good scribe or captain role of double checking. Wait, have they only been in once?
Sure. Georgia and Wisconsin. I don't have any good answers for this. Those are two teams that they're perennial well-doing teams. I'm going to scroll down. Georgia and Wisconsin. The two answers are Oregon and Georgia. The Ducks not too long ago. That seems right. They were doing good not too long ago, but Georgia was one of them. I think that was Georgia. I know Georgia was.
Check the answers.
Oh yeah. Yes, I made sure when Chris gave me the questions. Yeah, it was like you need to make sure you put the question on like the odd numbers and put the answer on the even ones. It's not fun to have it any other way. Yeah, Georgia beat Clemson beat Georgia, and that was a big to deal. Whatever. Clemson sucks, but no, I believe we did get the question we were assigned. Even though the other three were very good. Well done, Chris, for some very good questions there. That was I mean, it was we both get 1 point for that. So it looks like your final score is 9.
Sorry, we're cutting out. We're running out of time. We got to go.
Your final score was 9, and my final score was 11. So it is not
9-11.
11-9, because whoever is giving it says their score first. So that is the way to do it.
Like I said, 9-11.
So you avoid. There you go. So you avoid things like that, and so we are not competing against each other. We were just. Did you beat my 11 or did you beat Jeremy's 9? Let us know. But that is, I think, today's game. Jeremy, thank you for playing this thing and being the pilot guest for all of this. And I hope we can do this again. Absolutely. I hope we can do this again at some point. I will be inside for the foreseeable future. And so during this, yeah, exactly. So hopefully, if you like trivia and you like writing questions and like being quizzed about hard nonsense, please let me know. And hopefully, you might be a future guest on what are we calling this thing? Called Into Questions, a very good name that Jeremy came up with. But thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Please go wash your hands. Take care. I hope to see you again very soon. All right. Thank you, everyone. Let me